known for helping those that want to get into grant writing become freelance grant writers. Many go on to land full-time jobs at nonprofits like you already have, and others continue to grow their freelance side hustle into a full-time consulting business. So if you're thinking, it looks like you just help those who want to become entrepreneurs, how is this going to be a good fit for me? Or my boss doesn't see how the collective will help us win more grants when your focus is on helping people make more money. Totally valid observations, and I'm sorry I can't make the website speak to every single use case, but that is exactly what this video is going to address. So let's dive right in, and then we'll see how we can give you some tools to take back to your boss. All right, with that, let's go. All right, so first of all, we're going to take Jane and her husband, Josh, for example. So when she joined the collective, she had written 37 grants and won only one of those, and it was only worth $5,000. So after we taught her how to develop a funding strategy to write less grants, but to focus on the ones with the highest ROI, we coupled that with her learning the process for grant writing, and she earned her certificate, and guess what? She's won literally over 1.5 million in grants. And honestly, she's got to be at about 2.2 million-ish now based on some of the recent wins I've seen shared in the community group wins channel. Okay, so Jane and her husband love their work as firefighters. They have no intent of becoming freelancers, okay? Because this work certainly keeps them plenty busy. And it goes to show you though, the potency of learning systems and strategy for grant research and grant writing, and it pays dividends. And they're an example of an in-house grant writer at a nonprofit, just like you. So if we use that 1.5 million grant award amount, that means that Jane has already had a 250-to-1 return on investment by their fire department investing in her skills. So there are 3 major frameworks that Jane and Josh use to have those results, and I want to talk about those here so you understand that you also are going to build those skills. Number 1, the funding strategy. So this process is unique to us because I developed it when I was also an in-house grant writer, trying to figure out how the heck am I going to get these complex, expensive capital projects funded. Okay, so what is a funding strategy? Funding strategy is a 12 to 18 month roadmap of which grants to pursue so that you're only focusing on grants that you have the best chance of winning and will give you the best return on your investment, because no grant is free. You're still putting in a ton of time and effort to go after them. So instead of chasing 37 grants and only winning one, right? We're going to focus on, hey, what are maybe the best 7 or 8 grants to focus on this year, right? So this document is really your first step. It's the planning document you need to get everyone on board so that you know, okay, this is the game plan. This is what we're going to go after. Framework number 2 is the organic networking framework. So this is the method we teach for building relationships and identifying opportunities. So the bulk of the time when I talk about this framework, it is in the context of how do you find organizations that need grant writer help so they can get their career started. But that said, the framework is for you too, okay, the in-house grant writer, because it is vital that funders that you want to work with or you want to continue getting money from feel emotionally connected to you and the organization's mission. So this framework is especially useful when you're building new relationships, maybe with funders that don't exist yet, right? And so in this framework, you're figuring out, okay, who do I want to contact based on the funding strategy? Because relationships do take time and we want to make sure that we're using that time wisely. So you're going to reach out for an informational interview, get to know them, you're asking for advice. People love to give advice and be mentors. And after you've really taken the time to express interest in them, not just being there to take, which truly is a differentiator, grant seekers, they want to talk about themselves. Now they're getting a chance to ask you, wait, so tell me about yourself. And this is when you get to drop in the TTS, the tangible transformation sentence, to quickly and powerfully explain what your organization does and invite further conversation. So as your conversation is wrapping up from your informational interview, you're always asking, hey, who else should I connect with, so that you have a warm intro. And if there is an opportunity to circle back to talk about what your organization needs or see if there's alignment, right? I've even used this method to bring to the funder, hey, here's my funding strategy. It's messy, but can you give me some opinions on if you think that this is a good plan? And this is such a powerful tip because they know the other organizations that are on your list, and they can often provide an intro once they also buy into your plan, into your funding strategy. So I could talk more about that, but that is literally an entire core module of core course content in the Global Grant Writing Collective. So let's move on to the framework number 3 that Josh and Jane used, the grant writing unicorn method. So if unicorn sounds weird to you, trust me, I was in the same place, but it seriously grows on you when you realize, yes, you are a unicorn, when you know what the heck you're doing and you're winning thousands, if not millions of dollars in grants, okay? So in this method, we have a 7-step process to writing grants so that you're submitting them well ahead of deadline, you're getting information from your team members in a timely fashion, and you're just not fretting about things that you might not love, like developing a budget. Like, it's a great way to understand, how do I go through this process as stress-free as possible? So you're going to have 3 challenges that you have to overcome to deploy these 3 frameworks, right? The funding strategy, organic networking framework, and the grant writing unicorn method. So number 1, organizational buy-in. If your executive director or boss might think that they've solved the grant writing problem by hiring you, they might not feel that they need to invest in your professional development. Reach out to us if this is the case, and we can give you some supporting material to bring back to your organization to politely explain why it is insane to not invest in you, because you're going to give them exponentially more potent results if you're not winging it. Number 2, chasing grants haphazardly. So this is a big trap, especially when your nonprofit is overworked and it's in this go-go survival mode. So a grant lands on your desk, it's due in 2 weeks or less, and they're like, hey, drop everything and go for it. It's not like I haven't done this from time to time where I have done grants in a short order, right? I did a Department of Energy grant in 5 days once, wouldn't recommend it, but hey, we got it. But basically it's a recipe for burnout and not winning grants if you're doing that like shotgun approach. And I've seen bosses say, well, at least they can say we tried. No, putting in a turd of an application is worse than no application, okay? And the funding strategy method and the specific tips in my book, if you don't have a copy yet, go get that, are really gonna help you navigate these sticky patterns to break them. Then the third thing that you would need to navigate is the perception that the collective is only for freelancers. So when you join the collective, you're going to take an onboarding survey, and your answers will dictate the adventure that you take through course material. You will only be served up what you need as an in-house nonprofit grant writer. That means you get access to advanced grant writing training material faster than everybody else, and you get your own private channel in Circle, that's our community group, to network with other in-house grant writers. So recognize that yes, while I don't have like tons of material out there for the 20% of our community that are in-house grant writers, we got you. Okay, so in review, you can win more grants than learning everything the slow and arduously painful way by having community, coaching, and curriculum support. Okay, so learning the funding strategy method, mastering the organic networking framework, and most importantly, writing grants like an absolute unicorn. You can write grants and make a huge difference, and most importantly, not burn out in the process. So if you want to learn more about what we've discussed today, there is a training, it'll link it up below. It is specifically for you as an in-house nonprofit grant writer. We have several of you, right? And we have actually 3 in-house grant writers that speak in that video. I think you're gonna find that really helpful. So watch that and then reach out with any questions. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button and let me know what you enjoyed. All right, that's a wrap. See ya.